Hello! Hi everyone! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kim. I am the Ginger Linguist. You know when you first say something out loud that you've not said out loud before and you wonder whether it was the right choice? We're gonna go with it. This is my first video. I've been thinking about doing it for a while. Basically, I love languages. I have dabbled in quite a few. I'm currently studying German and French. I already know German quite well. I've learned Italian in the past. I just love it. So I wanted to share that with you all, and also share any tips I pick up or anything that doesn't work, general chit chat of what's happening in like the language space, things like that. Literally I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, and no one in my immediate friend circle or family is as obsessed about it as I am, so I thought I would come on here and just talk at you all the time about all the things that are interesting and exciting about languages. So today is International Women's Day. Woo! And this past weekend was the Women in Language conference. Now, this was the first time I'd attended this event because I only heard about it a few weeks ago. And I heard it from one of my favourite podcasts, The Fluent Show, which is hosted by Kerstin Cable. I'll say Kerstin Cable then, very German. It's hosted by Kerstin Cable. It's one of my favourite podcasts. I absolutely love it. And she's one of the hosts and one of the co-hosts, I should say, of it. So it's hosted by Kerstin Cable, Lindsay Williams of Lindsay Does Languages, also love her, and Shannon Kennedy. So online she's Eurolinguist, and she also co-hosts the Fluent in 3 Months podcast with Benny Lewis, another one of my favourite language learning podcasts. And together they came up with this idea, I think about 4 years ago, to do an online conference where women or female or anything but men, which is fantastic, and it was a way to represent women in languages, because they found that in the space, whenever there was talks about languages or polyglots were experts on panels or anything like that, it would always be men, and the YouTube scene over the years has been very male dominated, of polyglot talk and all that stuff. So they're all amazing. There's many that I love, and unfortunately we lost one last week. Moses, who was a fantastic polyglot, he was incredible. He was one of the first ones that I started following years and years and years ago, and he's just incredible. Speaks like 30 languages, and he was just amazing. It was so sad that he's passed because he was so young. But anyway, back to this weekend. So they created it. It's fantastic. Anyway, so I found out about it, needed to attend, so I bought my ticket, and basically all weekend I've watched the conference, nearly every single one live. Sunday was my worst day because adult stuff got in the way, and I ended up only being able to catch the live panel at the end, but I'm going to catch up on it all because it's all been available for, if you bought your ticket you could watch it again anytime. And basically, in short, it was amazing. Like, the weekend is essentially life-changing, and I said that I've been thinking about doing this channel for a while. This conference basically kind of gave me the push to do it. It's like, because basically the one thing I took away is from this, so I'm just looking at my notes, the one thing I took away is that just do it. Like, if you've got an idea, like, don't plan it to death. Don't think that you're not good enough. Don't think that, oh well, I'm not completely fluent in any particular language right now, I have no right to be talking about languages. No, just do it. I'm passionate about it, passionate about learning languages, just love it. Like, I've been learning German since 2012. I got really good when I lived there, wasn't there as an au pair, absolutely loved it, got quite fluent there, came home, got back to kind of normal life, and I'd never really completely lost it, but I definitely lost my advanced level, so I've always been kind of like a lower intermediate kind of level ever since, but I'm trying to build it back up. And for years I've thought, I don't who am I to talk about languages, really? Like, it's just me, like, it's not my thing. But it's given me the push to just do it. Like I said, no one else really will listen to me, so the best thing I can do is really talk to a camera and see if anyone is out there who's going to listen. As you can tell, I'm probably a bit excited, so I might talk a little bit fast. Just let me know in the comments if any of this was too fast for anyone to understand. So I just wanted to say as well, to let you know about some of the topics that were covered over the weekend. It was so diverse, all the speakers were fantastic. There were topics like Bahamian Creole, that was the first one, and I literally, some of the headlines of the talks, I saw them, I was like, oh, that could be quite interesting. I don't know how interesting it'll be for me, but some of those ones that I thought, they might not be that interesting to me personally, were the most interesting ones. Like, we had Bahamian Creole, so learning all about that was fantastic. How the learning landscape is in Australia, that was really interesting. Women in Latin, another brilliant talk. I didn't really know much about Latin, and I came away from that one basically wanting to learn Latin. Just the whole history of it is fascinating, and how it really shows the evolution of sexism and things like that, and it's just fascinating. It gets you quite angry as a female, and it gets you pumped up, but it was just so interesting. Whys and hows of language apps. Let's see, what else did I note down? Language revitalisation. There was a talk on midshif, which is a endangered language in Canada. They had so many like indigenous language, I had no idea, which was, I want to say ignorant, that's probably a little bit harsh. Like, I don't know much about Canada, so why would I know? But obviously they've got indigenous people and there's indigenous languages, and it was fascinating to learn about some of them. Same as Australia, they've got so many indigenous languages. I had no idea they had that many. It's just so interesting. What else did we have? Oh, tips on how to learn a new script, so like Thai and Korean, Persian, that type of thing, Arabic. Really interesting. The effects of social media on language, that was quite a good one as well. And basically just this talk, it just covered so much more language and heritage, just loads, and it just really highlighted what women are capable of, like how intelligent we are, what we can do when we just put our minds to something and don't let anybody stop us. I really hope the sound of my laptop just going bing didn't come through, but we'll see. Yeah, it was just amazing. I just wanted to kind of like fangirl over this. And the main takeaway from it, as I said, was this, like, just do it. Like, one, don't be shy to be multilingual if you're multilingual. Also, don't be shy to show your enthusiasm if you're a bit like me and not quite multilingual. Like, I know German quite well, and I'm learning French, and I want to relearn Italian, and I've got a list of languages here I want to like tackle in my life just because I've fallen in love with them. I'm trying to learn Japanese as well. There's just languages just pull me, and I really want to know them, and I'm like, I just wish I had more time because I work full time, I've got adult responsibilities, and I really want to show how it's possible to learn a language whilst you've still got all this going on, because I believe it's possible. You don't have to dedicate hours and hours and hours a day to it. There's like tips and tricks and little ways you can work in, and just bring so much joy to your life. And just, I'm such a firm believer of, like, because I feel like if you learn a different language, like, you unlock part of yourself. Like, when I learned German, I was like, I saw the world in a completely different way. It's brilliant. And now I'm learning French, it's the same way. I'm getting like another type of personality when I try and speak French. It's just so interesting. And I love different cultures and different countries, and learning how people are in those cultures. And the language is the best way to see how that culture views the world, and it's just amazing. Like, I'm also a bit of a geek. Like, I actually really like grammar and things like that, which most people hate, and I don't blame you. It's not the easiest thing, but I really like stuff like that. Understanding how it works as well, it really interests me. And like, when you see connections across languages, it's like, oh, this is a loan word from there, excellent. Oh, this word came from this. Oh my god, it's just, I love it. It's great. Feel free to laugh at me, because I'm just very excited. about the whole topic. Yeah, I just love it. It was such a good weekend. I honestly can't. I feel like I should have taken more time to really go through key points and verbalise this a little bit better for you. So I do apologise, but I just kind of wanted to. I was excited. I wanted to put a video up, so this is that. I also asked quite a few questions because the way they did it was the speakers could either do a live presentation or they could record it and play it and then be there in the chat. So there was a form you could fill in if you wanted to submit any questions. There was a Q&A at the end of every single one, and it was brilliant. And I asked a few questions. Most of them were kind of age related because I'm not the youngest thing. I'm not old either. But I was asking, what they thought about. So, for example, one speaker was a Korean polyglot who's worked for the UN and international organisations. And one of my question to her was, in her opinion, does age matter? Like, has she seen, in her experience, is it usually just young people that come into these organisations and excel, or has she seen people older, like, come in later, so to speak, and make a successful career? And her answer was, yeah, I've seen older people because you've got work experience and life experience, and that matters as well. So, and I'm a big believer in you're never too old to learn something new, and that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this channel, is to prove that, it's just a number. Like, you could be 18 and learning a language to yourself, absolutely go for it, it'll be amazing. Or if you're in your 70s and you want to learn a language, do it. It's, there really is no barrier to it, and I really want to get that across because I'm one of those people that, as I've gotten older, I've kind of like hit each age barrier. And one, I think getting older is quite a privilege because not everyone gets to do it. But with each year, it's like, I'm not old yet. So I'm kind of like, no, I'm still fairly young. I've still got time. I've still got stuff to do. So yeah, that's my kind of overall outlook on it. But Women in Language Conference, in a nutshell, was fantastic. I fully recommend it next year to anyone who is interested. It's fantastic whether you're learning your first language, whether you're just interested in language in general. It's just a fantastic talk, and the community it creates is also absolutely amazing. Follow Kerstin Cable. She's Kerstin Fluent on Instagram, and obviously she has her podcast, The Fluent Show. Shannon Kennedy, Eurolinguist, and Lindsay Williams. Lindsay Does Languages. Follow them all. They're all amazing, dead inspiring. Yeah, and that's everything. Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye!